Part 1, The Solitary Prisoner. In the year 2147, Titan, Saturn's largest moon, was home to Quantum Penitentiary, a massive, high-tech prison designed to hold the most dangerous of convicts. Among them was Ethan Mercer, a man wrongfully imprisoned for a crime he didn't commit. Accused of sabotaging an experimental fusion reactor, which led to a devastating explosion, Ethan's life had unraveled in the harsh confines of solitary confinement. The prison itself was a fortress of steel and glass, a bleak landscape where even the smallest spark of hope seemed distant. Ethan had endured 5 years of isolation, his only solace the sporadic visits from a robotic caretaker that delivered his meals. The rest of the time, he was left to the echoing silence of his cell and the haunting memories of a life unjustly torn apart. One cold, seemingly ordinary evening, Ethan's routine was shattered by an alarming tremor. The prison's artificial gravity flickered, and the lights dimmed to an ominous twilight. A deep, rhythmic hum filled the corridors, escalating into a deafening roar. Panic spread like wildfire as alarms blared and emergency lights flashed red. Ethan's heart raced as he struggled to make sense of the chaos. His cell's door, malfunctioning in the commotion, slid open. Clad in his prison uniform, he emerged into a frenzy of inmates and guards scrambling for safety. Ethan, shackled and disoriented, could only watch as the prison fell into a state of disarray. Amidst the chaos, Ethan noticed something peculiar, a shimmering distortion in the walls, a pulsating light that seemed to defy the laws of physics. Driven by a mixture of dread and curiosity, he followed the flickering light down a series of abandoned corridors. His steps were hesitant, each footfall echoing ominously through the deserted spaces. Part 2, The Hidden Chamber. Ethan stumbled upon a concealed entrance hidden behind a sliding wall. The chamber beyond was small and dimly lit, its walls lined with flickering holographic displays. At the center of the room sat a solitary figure, Dr. Mira Tanaka, a scientist whose lab coat was tattered and stained with grime. She worked feverishly at a control console, her face a mask of determination and fear. Startled by Ethan's unexpected arrival, Dr. Tanaka looked up, her eyes widening. "You shouldn't be here. It's not safe." "I don't know what's happening," Ethan replied, his voice shaking. "Why are you here? What's going on?" Dr. Tanaka's fingers flew over the controls. Holographic displays flickered, revealing complex schematics of the prison's infrastructure. "You were framed. The reactor failure wasn't your fault. There's a massive cover-up happening here." Ethan's mind raced as he tried to piece together the fragments of information. But why me? Why was I blamed? "The reactor was sabotaged by someone with access to its controls," Dr. Tanaka explained. "The real culprits are hiding behind layers of deceit. They manipulated evidence to frame you and keep their true crimes a secret." Before Ethan could respond, the chamber shook violently. The prison's tremors had intensified, the walls vibrating as if the very structure was coming apart. Panic surged through Ethan as he realized the urgency of their situation. Dr. Tanaka's urgency was palpable. "We need to get to the central control hub," Dr. Tanaka said, her voice steady despite the chaos. "It's the only way to expose the truth and clear your name." Part 3, Navigating Chaos. Ethan and Dr. Tanaka navigated through the crumbling prison, their path marked by debris and destruction. Automated security drones buzzed ominously overhead, their red lights scanning for intruders. The prison's once pristine corridors were now a labyrinth of broken technology and twisted metal. As they advanced, they encountered fierce resistance. Inmates, driven mad by the chaos, roamed the corridors. Some attacked indiscriminately, while others seemed lost in a state of terror. Ethan and Dr. Tanaka fought their way through, using whatever makeshift weapons they could find to fend off their attackers. The prison's security systems had gone haywire, with alarms blaring and emergency doors slamming shut unexpectedly. Each turn seemed to lead them deeper into danger. Despite the perils, Ethan felt a flicker of hope. The possibility of clearing his name drove him forward, each step bringing him closer to the truth. Part 4, The Central Control Hub. After a harrowing journey, Ethan and Dr. Tanaka reached the Central Control Hub, a massive chamber dominated by a colossal, pulsating core that regulated the prison's systems. The core's rhythmic pulsing seemed almost sentient, a heartbeat of the prison's failing infrastructure. Dr. Tanaka accessed the core's data streams, her fingers dancing over the holographic interface. The displays revealed a web of interconnected systems, each line of code representing a piece of the prison's complex operations. The deeper they delved, the more they uncovered about the conspiracy at the heart of their predicament. Suddenly, the chamber was filled with blaring alarms and the clattering of heavy boots. The warden of the prison, a stern and imposing figure named Warden Cray, appeared with a squad of enforcers. His face was a mask of cold fury. "You've been a thorn in my side for too long, Mercer," Warden Cray growled. "And now, you'll pay the price." Dr. Tanaka and Ethan prepared for a desperate stand. The enforcers, armed with advanced weaponry, moved in with precision. The room erupted in chaos as the two sides clashed. Ethan fought with fierce determination, driven by the knowledge that exposing the truth was their only hope. In the midst of the battle, Ethan and Dr. Tanaka managed to upload the incriminating data to a secure satellite relay. The information contained evidence of the warden's involvement in the sabotage, revealing a grand scheme that extended beyond the prison's walls. The truth was finally set free. Part 5, The Collapse and Escape. As the data transmission completed, the prison's core began to destabilize. The chamber shook violently, the walls cracking and splintering under the immense pressure. Ethan and Dr. Tanaka fought their way through the collapsing facility, narrowly escaping the destructive force of the prison's ultimate failure. The prison structure disintegrated around them, collapsing into a fiery ruin. Ethan and Dr. Tanaka emerged onto the frozen surface of Titan, their breath visible in the frigid air. They watched from a distance as the prison's once imposing structure was reduced to a smoldering heap of debris. Though battered and exhausted, Ethan felt a sense of relief. The truth had been exposed, and the conspiracy that had doomed him to years of wrongful imprisonment was now out in the open. The journey ahead was uncertain, but Ethan was free from the chains of false accusation. For now, survival was the ultimate victory, and the pursuit of justice would guide him into an unknown future.